On the morning of Thursday, August 22nd, 2019, a 30-year-old man was crushed to death by an elevator in his luxury high-rise apartment building as his unsuspecting neighbors witnessed the horrific accident. Sam Wayspring clawed desperately to escape the packed elevator as it plunged from the lobby into the darkness of the shaft below. Sam was pinned and crushed between the elevator car and the wall of the lobby hotel. The horrific scene took place at the 23-story Manhattan Promenade Tower on 3rd Avenue near East 25th Street and was captured on CCTV surveillance footage featured in this video. As one woman stands waiting, the elevator door opens into the lobby and a man wearing a backpack swiftly and safely emerges. Unexpectedly, the wheels around the elevator car malfunction as Wayspring and 5 others go rocketing downward. Wayspring instinctively shot out his right hand to grab the frame of the elevator door to the lobby. He then tried to plant his right leg onto the lobby floor, but was immediately overpowered by the collapsing block of steel. Sam Wayspring had moved from Milwaukee to settle down in New York City, where he worked in software sales for 6 years before his untimely death. First responders pronounced Wayspring dead at the scene, and autopsy results revealed Sam Wayspring was asphyxiated to death and suffered extensive injuries to his neck and chest, ultimately dying from the crushing blunt force trauma to his neck and torso via mechanical asphyxiation. Residents say that they had grown accustomed to the problematic elevators at the Manhattan Promenade, where monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment starts around $3,700. One resident said that the elevators are always jumping between floors and compared the elevator rides to something out of a horror movie. Another resident added, "It's sadly not shocking that it wasn't addressed sooner. A life could have been saved. And it shouldn't have to take someone to die to have a management company realize that there's an issue with our elevators." Wayspring's father agrees, saying that the elevators were always in disarray and that the least the building could do is provide safety for the residents. Number 2, split personality. A similar and equally tragic accident happened just 8 years prior in New York City, where an advertising executive was killed in a freak elevator mishap on Wednesday, December 14, 2011, at a Madison Avenue office building. The accident happened at around 10 a.m. in the 26-story office tower near Grand Central Terminal that had been the longtime home of the agency Y&R, formerly known as Young and Rubicam. The New York Times identified the victim as 41-year-old Y&R executive Suzanne Hart. And according to her LinkedIn profile, Hart was the director of new business content and experiences at Y&R, where she had worked since 2007. She was a 1988 graduate of Palos Verdes High School in California and earned a Bachelor's of Arts in Fine Art and International Relations from Knox College. Officials said Hart was stepping onto the elevator on the first floor when either her foot or leg became caught in the closing doors.
Her death was horrific. Advertising executive Suzanne Hart was killed in an elevator mishap as she headed to work at the prestigious advertising agency Young and Rubicam on Madison Avenue in New York City. She was just 41. As she stepped into the elevator, it shot up 20 feet like a bullet with the doors still open. Susan Hart fell forward, part of her body inside, part still outside. The elevator became wedged between 2 floors, with the woman's body being crushed.
2 people were inside the elevator and were taken to the hospital to be evaluated for psychological trauma but weren't physically injured. Investigators with the fire department and the police department were on the scene in Midtown Manhattan, where a spokesperson for Y&R announced just days ago that it planned to vacate the building for a new headquarters and confirmed that there had been a fatality, but she couldn't yet provide additional information. There had been reportedly elevator violations in the building in the past, but it's unclear from which of the building's elevators. Number 3, take my breath away. On the night of September 14, 2014, at around 5:50 p.m., Fuqua University's school security department received a call claiming that a student was stuck in an elevator in one of the academic buildings. After the report was called in, campus security immediately called the authorities at around 6 p.m. The rescue workers who opened the elevator discovered the student had already suffocated to death. CCTV footage shows the malfunctioning lift shooting up and slowly crushing a college student to death as he steps inside. The student couldn't move away quickly enough as the lift jerked upwards and was caught between the floor of the elevator and the top of the door frame, where he was inevitably pinned and crushed to death. And the video footage is from a surveillance camera fixed inside the malfunctioning lift at Fuqua University in the city of Xiamen in southeast China's Fujian province. The 3-minute video clip of the incident, which was one of the most widely shared videos on social media throughout China, shows the last minutes of the student's life as his body jerks from a lack of oxygen. The unnamed man was said to be an architect student from the university who was standing at the front of a small group of people when the doors opened. Another student also at the scene said that the pair were waiting for the lift from the third floor. The doors opened and the lift started to move as the victim stepped inside. The witness told local media that the young man seemed more surprised than worried as the lift started to rise upward. He had no time to react when it suddenly slammed him into the top of the lift's door frame, trapping his upper torso and left leg inside of the elevator car while the rest of his body dangled outside. Number 4. Break a leg. Another elevator fatality in China occurred when a woman had her leg severed off by a faulty elevator after getting her lower body trapped between closing doors. CCTV footage shows a short-haired woman looking at her phone while walking into the lift. She trips over it and falls onto the floor, her leg stuck between the door of the elevator and floor of the lobby. Another woman standing in the lobby narrowly escapes the dangerous situation as she failed to walk in at the same time as the victim. The elevator car goes up for about 3 floors before it stops, and the woman can be seen lying on the floor waiting for help. She struggles to get her leg out, and it appears that the lift has crushed and possibly cut off her right leg. The incident happened on June 21st, 2017, but the footage wasn't released until January of 2018. The incident took place in the Conch building in Shanghai, China, and